Thank you so much for being here today. Today is another fantastic episode at the XR Magazine podcast. I am your host, Diana. Today we're going to be speaking with the team at Immersive, which is a VR-based productivity and meeting app that is available on the Oculus store. Immersive, using an ingenious method, has been able to let users visually see their hands on their virtual keyboard perfectly synced with its physical position. So you can bring your work computer inside VR in beautiful spaces. You might see yourself working in a spaceship, in another planet, by a waterfall, or in a beautiful island. You can even incorporate pass-through, which means that you can interact still with your world around while working in many different screens at the same time. Immerse was created with the belief that a future where humanity is so available to live wherever and whenever they want without the constraint of the physical space is fundamentally more freeing than a reality where we are not able to do so. Today, we're going to be speaking with Ryan Yepp, who is an executive turned community manager at the amazing team of Immerse. Thank you so much, Ryan, for being here today. Please let us know, how did you get started in Immerse and what is your role currently with the team?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. My name is Ryan Yepp. I'm the community manager here at Immerse. It just means that I handle a lot of the customer-facing functions for the organization. How I got started, I actually was friends with Renji prior to joining the team, and like a lot of people during COVID, we were all forced to work from home, and I wasn't accustomed to that, and I didn't have a monitor to help me do my work more effectively. So I knew Renji, and he told me, hey, you should buy a Quest 2 headset. So I did. And I never looked back. So was able to be really productive in sales meetings wearing a VR headset. And so from there, it was just kind of a game changer, being able to see just the possibilities of VR and the technology being able to bring people together. In a way that I feel like in a world that we live in today, a lot of us work remote or we're hybrid teams, but we're probably more lonely than we've been in a long time. And so the opportunity for the technology to make it feel like you're actually giving you a sense of presence that you may not be able to have like on a 2D screen like this, as well as being able to just build relationships and having access to opportunities like that you may not be able to have in the real world.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that. How did you begin? It's like a sense of curiosity how everyone joins the team and early on when the company is starting out. Speaking about when the company began, I know you have an important role in the community, but to the best of your knowledge, how do you know that Immerse was conceptualized from the beginning, and how it was designed, or how was the beginning of the app?
Sure. So at a high level, Renji Bajoy, our founder, he was going through Techstars, and actually prior to that, he had gone to Georgia Tech to basically work on getting a PhD in computer vision. And he was actually looking to start, his previous startup was going to be involving drones. And so when he realized that what he was hoping to accomplish through that was going to take much longer than anticipated, he wanted to solve a problem of pair programming for remote teams. And so went through Techstars Chicago, and kind of the rest is history. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, I didn't know that part of the beginning of Immerse, how really he was pretty much looking to solve something that was very particular, maybe for developers, which was at the beginning, how can we work together when we're in different places? And when we are working in our own space, how can we, usually, developers have different screens, right? Like for different coding and to see how it's performing the coding, etc. Yeah. So it was born like that. But now it seems it has even expanded to other markets, right? Like to other communities also. So how that transition has happened? Was it natural, or did you, it made especially forced to bring that to other users?
Yeah, I would say the how that's kind of evolved over time is just simply, I think with VR, historically speaking, the technology has really been more for gaming, or it's known for gaming. And as Meta has done a good job of making the Quest 2 be much more of a, um, I guess, just allowing people to be able to have access to the hardware at a lower cost, or much more reachable to more groups of people. More people have started discovering, what else can we do with a VR headset, and they found Immerse, we're the top productivity app on the MetaQuest store, and as more people have tried it, you've just seen like other founders, marketers, really just any other builders, writers, for example, have really just kind of caught on, because I think something that's really unique about Immerse is just the immersion, no pun intended, being able to feel like even if you're working from home, or even if you're working from the comforts of your own bed, we can get distracted by our own physical and real life environments at home. But then putting on like a VR headset, or hopefully in the future glasses, like Apple glasses, it changes your environment. So it feels like you're teleporting into the office, rather than distracted potentially by your physical surroundings. And so with that being said, that's really been a really value point for a lot of our community members, being able to have increased focus, but also a sense of connection, because if they're working from home, more likely than not, their partners or the spouses, or even just being by themselves at home, they don't have some of those side conversations that they're used to in an office setting.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, it's a different opportunity. Right now, we're living in a moment where we can really say that we have the possibility of working smoothly and efficiently remotely, thanks to that technology. How were those first customers? How did you get the very first customers? Did that happen just from developers, or how did you get them? And the reason why I ask this question is because in the community, there are many learners who are in the stage of getting to know the technology, getting to decide if they like to start building an app for themselves, or creating experiences in VR, AR, etc. So they might be wondering also, how did you get your first customers, like for an app like this?
Yeah, great question. It's really a lot of combination of different things. So building a landing page, and just even articulating what your idea is and what problem you're trying to solve, that allowed us to kind of create a sign up list of people saying, hey, yeah, I'd be really interested in trying something like that. Also, a lot of networking. A lot of it comes through personal relationships, family and friends who support you and what you're trying to do, and you as a person. So they want to give feedback, they want to try it out. And and so those early days, I would say also just really being as close and responsive to the people that are trying out your product as you're building it out, because the more you can support them and make sure that you're responsive to them, that really shows that you appreciate and care about their own feedback.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I think that creating an app is not an easy undertaking. But as you mentioned, getting like leveraging the closest connections might be one of the best ways to start onto those initial marketing strategies. So how has it been for the company growing from a very small team, I guess, starting with Renji as the CEO, and expanding? How that growth has happened in terms of the entrepreneurial side? Because developers have all the beautiful skills in the world to build whatever they want, but how has this happen for developers to actually having to see and grow this vision from the entrepreneurial point of view?
Yeah, great question. We spend a lot of time, probably at least every other week, as a team going through different methodology talks. So just learning from the free content that's out there, like from Y Combinator, some of the other Techstars material you can find online. Really big fans of the YC ecosystem, and just kind of learning, what are the pitfalls that other startups have experience that we try to avoid. And so I think along with that, it's perseverance. So part of the Immersed story is, we really believe that we wouldn't be alive today unless it was for God or our team. And what I mean by that is, back in 2019, I think it was in the spring or in the summer, Immersed had actually run out of money. And the founding team, they believed so much in the mission that the mission really helped kind of persevere the team through that storm. And so they went 6 months without taking a paycheck, and they were committed as ever to the cause, to Renji. And so that really helped Renji just kind of persevere and really fight to find additional funding. And so through that, we were able to raise $12 million through a crowdfunding platform called WeFunder. It's really through our community. So other community members, that whether they're actually using the product or family and friends. And that just really has propelled us and given us kind of our North Star, that it's not even just about the technology. We have to keep the customer in mind, and knowing they are people and what kind of value we want to bring them. And so it still requires a lot of perseverance and strength, because we're really trying to push the boundaries and what's possible with virtual reality, XR. And so there's a lot of people like externally that may not be as enthusiastic or sharing that vision, but that's some of the things that Renji had to deal with back in 2017 when he founded the company. Is he had this vision or he saw this problem where people would be driving hours upon hours a day to drive into the office, and they'd be using tools like Slack, which are really good for what they're designed to in the beginning. But then as our society, as technology has evolved, there's just a lot of waste from that. And so being able to use something like virtual reality to bring people together that are not even in the same city, let alone country. Like I could tell you, for example, it was or like in one of our public co-working spaces, we had about 10 different individuals there, but we are all representing about 4 different continents. And so how else can you, other than through the use of virtual reality, just bring that sense of presence and connection, even though we're hundreds, thousands of miles, millions of miles away from each other?
Is thousands of dollars to bring these people to one place. Like the cost is huge for a company, especially if the company is maybe starting out. It's still in certain level of funding. So of course, it makes all sense that you get an app, like leverage the technology and cut down all of those costs that you can allocate better for marketing, advertisement, and for growing even more. It's like a better allocation of funds. It becomes like an expense between an investment. Yeah, amazing. I have a friend who actually is super passionate about Immerse. He uses Immerse for all the, I think that maybe you know him. His name is Jeff Weiser.
Yeah.
He's my friend. So like he works all the day and his team, his company also works all the day in Immerse. How do you guys manage, or how do you guys go around the situation where for some people it's not easy to have a headset, because right now is heavy during the like a long shift, like a long number of hours?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. I will say that I definitely would say that we're still in the middle of like the early adopter phase As the hardware gets better, it's going to be lighter. It's going to be more comfortable to wear. Thankfully, there are third-party tools such as different straps, kind of facial covers that can help kind of the experience. I personally can tell you from the 2 years I've been using Immerse full time, I probably spend 5 to 6 hours a day working in Immerse. And probably the first month of using Immerse, it really took me about, it took me about a month just to kind of get acclimated, to get comfortable. I couldn't go from like 0 to 100 in Immerse. I had to build up because, you know, it is, it is different. It's, I kind of make this joke, but sometimes it could feel like you're wearing this heavy shoebox on your face throughout the day. But the more that you really give it a shot and not necessarily be frustrated with where, I guess, what it can't do, but also just thinking about what are the possibilities and what can it do today. I think if you have, I guess, a little bit tempered expectations, I think it would be pretty blown away.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I think that it's very like the times are very exciting as the headset becomes lighter, and of course the price also goes down, like for people to more people to massively adopt the technology. Then it gets more and more interesting to see what is going to happen in the market and how that transition is going to happen, because this is a great tool for companies, right? This is similar to what happened when there were no websites many years ago. The local stores said, why should I create a website when I have my physical store and clients are coming and I am happy, there is no need. What do you think about right now in terms of collaboration when people, COVID is kind of like going away now, like people is meeting again, you know, like in person, people is going back to work. What do you think at this point about this same kind of analogy? Why would we need collaboration tools when we are working here or when we are, what do you think about that? Why Immerse actually enhances the collaboration?
Yeah, I would say it really depends. You have to really, as a company, you really have to go back into what are your goals? And I think the virtual reality is more, and Web3 are going to be a evolution of what the internet is today. And they're going to be much more immersive experiences. It's going to be provide different ways that consumers and others are able to interact with brands and with individuals, you know. So we go back to going back to Jeff. Not only do I consider Jeff a customer, like a really, we call them a mercenaries at Immerse, like a big, you know, raving fan, but also I consider him a friend because we've spent countless hours co-working alongside each other. His business, Go to Market, they actually started inside Immerse. And so not a lot of people know that. Like there's starting to be businesses, founders starting their companies inside something like Immerse, where they're able to not only get their own productivity and personal work done, but also to network. And we're starting to see, because VR affords you an opportunity to engage with others that you can't really do as well on a 2D screen or even on a phone or text message or on social media. You're able to meet just so many people from different walks of life and different companies and skills and talents. And so that opens up a sea of possibilities that maybe you can't do in the comforts of even an office. And so I think we're still very early on to know like what those possibilities are, but some of those things have definitely been happening. I would say the past 6 months here at Immerse.
Yeah, that's exciting. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm super excited for you guys. I have a special question.
Yeah.
I'm super curious about this. Anis, what's going on with Immerse? Please let us know. Is Immerse entering into the NFT market? What's going on with the digital spaces? Please tell us.
Yeah, great question. So we're entering into Web3 and NFTs. We like to really call them digital properties, just because, or digital assets. NFTs mostly, or 99% of them, there's not any utility behind them, and so they get a lot of negative connotation, or a bad reputation, and rightfully so. Um, with that being said, we're moving into that because as we've, as a team, been just really doing a lot of studying just the market, the technology market. We've seen there's, man, Web3, crypto, just the blockchain in general. That technology has been moving way faster than, I would say, Web 1 and Web 2 and history. And so along with that, we really see there's going to be this convergence that there's not already between Web3, blockchain, and VR. And so with that being said, that really provides an opportunity for our community and others to really leverage the blockchain. And what I mean by that is the blockchain provides technology that allows for a way to validate ownership, or just really anything. And so, and it's not Immerse making those decisions, whether, in the Web 2 sense, we don't have to validate whether someone is who they say they are, or in the future, or whether they own something. This is literally on like a ledger and on a blockchain. So the blockchain is able to be kind of like the oracle, or just prove the evidence of that. And so going back to a story like Jeff's, he started his company inside Immersed. This is going to provide opportunities in a immersive world. I mean, we're using the term metaverse right now, but we don't even know if metaverse is actually going to be the official name once it becomes more mainstream. And so being able to, we've just been hearing from a lot of enterprise companies that we've been talking to, as well as other community members, that they've really helped see the vision of Immerse becoming kind of this business networking, but more kind of a virtual economy where people can start businesses in it, and also they can employ others, and they can basically sell goods and services. And so in a very minimal viable product, or MVP manner, that's already been happening within the community inside Immerse. And so we're just wanting to get ahead of just kind of building the infrastructure to be able to support that in the future. And so nothing is changing regards with Immerse, like the product, because this is what people are spending 40 to 50 hours a week working in Immerse. And that's really the utility. And that's what's really going to kind of allow this thing to be kind of successful.
Mm-hmm. So if I understand correctly, Immerse is going to facilitate these options for people to have these connections. And
Right.
what exactly is Immerse going to offer them? The possibility to create the spaces, or what is what they are going to be minting, basically? That's my question.
Yeah. So I would say for the end user and their experience, what they see in the different environments today, that's going to be something that either someone can purchase and have ownership over and build themselves, or partner with someone else, like an architect, who we're going to build a marketplace for people to be able to be designers, architects, create digital assets such as like maybe different clothing for your avatar, or different furniture inside any of those environments. That's going to be an actual digital asset that they can either own, or someone owns it and they can invite people into their space, such as like a business.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds exciting, because it's like the metaverse of the business, like the business hub in the metaverse. I'm super excited. I think that sounds super great. I'm actually gonna be putting an eye on that, because I build the spaces. That's what I do, actually.
Yeah.
I build digital spaces. So I have spaces in spatial.io, but the spaces that I create are more like a little realistic, like offices and buildings. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for letting us know about all of these amazing plans. And of course, because you understand, you're the community manager, the head of community manager, you understand the importance of, creating community and connection. So please let us know every time that you have any important announcement. We'd like to share it with the community also. It's been so great to talk to you. We are deeply grateful with your presence and all the experience that you've been sharing with us, Ryan. My last question for you is there anything that you wish I had asked you today?
I know I would say to your community, as students and future builders, founders, I just want to just give a word of encouragement. I think right now it can be kind of a scary time because there's been a lot of layoffs and we don't know where the economy is going to go in our world. But and I don't say this lightly, but I would say that now is the best time to level up those skills. Now is the best time to start building and creating, and build something that you're passionate about. Like just because even if you're not a developer, if you want to get into virtual reality, but you have no idea what it's going to look like or what you want to do, that's totally fine. And dedicate some time outside of school or your day job to just tinker and play around, see what's possible, and just really think about what are some problems or what are some challenges in your own life or you see in the lives of others in society that something like VR could help address. And that's probably my biggest encouragement is don't focus on the money or all the different possibilities of I guess how lucrative things could be, but really build toward solving a specific problem. And especially if you can find something that's personal to you, that's going to be your mission that helps you persevere in the long run.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is so much needed, especially in these times where, the economy is a little bit uncertain, and many people say, "Oh, how I'm gonna leave my job? I don't know. This is crazy. I don't have the skills, or I'm not a developer," as you mentioned. Those are great examples. Thank you so much. Very relatable for all of us. Thank you so much for being here, and we really hope to continue hearing from you and all the amazing updates from Immerse.
Sounds good. Thanks, Diana.
Much, and see you in the next episode.